Before we dive into this emotional and unforgettable story, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to never miss a moment. Your support keeps us going and helps share more amazing stories like this one. My name is Skylar Reed, and I thought I understood my husband, Mason. We married young, built our lives from nothing, and though the years hadn't always been easy, I believed in our love. But the night Mason made a deal with his boss, using me as the bargaining chip, everything changed. Mason had been struggling at work. He was a financial analyst at a competitive investment firm in downtown Chicago. His boss, Chase Langford, was the kind of man who walked into a room and people either shrunk away or tried to cling to him. Powerful. Arrogant. Mysterious. And now, apparently, interested in me. It started with whispers. Mason grew distant, distracted, constantly checking his phone. When I asked if everything was okay, he'd brush it off. Just stress, babe. The promotion's close, and I can't afford to mess up. That Friday evening, Mason came home with an excited gleam in his eyes. He poured me a glass of wine before I even had the chance to ask what the occasion was. "Skylar," he said, taking my hand, "we got it. The promotion, it's mine. We can finally get out of debt. Travel. Buy that beach house in Florida. Everything we talked about." I smiled, but something in his eyes looked off. Nervous. Like he owed someone. "That's amazing, Mason. But how? I thought you were worried you were behind in the race." He hesitated. That was when I should have known. Later that night, as I stood in front of the mirror in our bedroom, brushing my hair, Mason walked in. He watched me with a look I couldn't quite read. Guilt? Anticipation? Chase invited us to his place tonight. Just the three of us. A small celebration. He's got this penthouse in the city. You'll love it. I blinked. Tonight? It's late. And I don't even know him. Mason wrapped his arms around me. Trust me. It'll be good for us. The drive to Chase's penthouse felt longer than it was. Mason was quiet. When we arrived, the building was luxurious, almost intimidating. We took the private elevator up to the top floor. Chase greeted us with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. He was taller than I remembered from Mason's office parties, dressed in a sleek black suit that made him look like a villain in an old Hollywood movie. "Skylar," he said smoothly, taking my hand, even more beautiful than Mason described. "Come in." His apartment was a panoramic dream of glass and city lights. Music played softly in the background, and a chilled bottle of champagne sat waiting. I felt like I had stepped into someone else's fantasy. But the tension. I could feel it between the men. Like something had been agreed upon that I wasn't part of. An hour passed. Conversation floated over business, travel, and art. Then, Chase turned to Mason. "Why don't you give us a moment? I want to get to know your wife better." Mason stiffened, glanced at me, then back at Chase. He nodded slowly and excused himself. I watched my husband walk down the hallway and disappear into a guest room. I turned to Chase. "What's going on?" Chase's smile returned. "Mason didn't tell you the details, did he? He's ambitious, that one. But he was desperate. I simply offered him a deal." "What kind of deal?" He moved closer. I backed away. "One night. With you." That's what he traded for his promotion. My heart dropped. "You're lying." He held up his phone and showed me a text from Mason, "Whatever it takes. She'll do it. I'll talk to her." I stared at the screen. The wine in my stomach curdled. This wasn't a joke. Mason had offered me for a promotion. Chase studied me, waiting. I should have screamed, walked out, but something inside me held me there. Anger. Betrayal. And a strange, growing curiosity. "You're quiet," he said. "What do you expect me to say?" "I want to know what you want." "Not Mason. You're not a prize to be traded. But you are captivating. If you decide to stay, it's your choice." His voice was low, seductive. My pulse raced. The room felt warmer, the air heavier. I turned away, trying to gather my thoughts, but then he was behind me, not touching, just there. A presence. "I see more in you than your husband does," he whispered. "He sees a favor. I see fire. Power. A woman who deserves more than broken promises." I closed my eyes. Everything inside me warred, hurt, humiliation, and now this strange spark I didn't recognize. That night unfolded not in violence or domination, but in slow, careful moments. Chase never touched me until I said yes. It was a whisper. Barely audible. But once I said it, he didn't hold back. He studied every inch of me with reverence. Made me feel like a woman seen for the first time. Every movement, every kiss, every heated breath, felt deliberate. Like he wanted me to forget Mason existed. And for those hours, I did. When morning light broke through the glass windows, I lay in silk sheets in silence. Chase was already up, shirtless, standing by the window with coffee in hand. "Do you regret it?" he asked without turning. I sat up. My voice was hoarse. "I don't know." He turned to face me. "He sold you. You bought yourself back." I left that morning without waking Mason, who had slept in another room, unaware or pretending. I didn't speak a word on the drive home. Neither did he. The silence was a canyon we couldn't cross. A week later, I filed for divorce. But the story didn't end there. Chase called me the following Friday. "Dinner. My place. You think I'm just available now?" "No. I think you've always deserved to choose. I'm just hoping you choose me again." I did. What started as betrayal became the foundation of something I never saw coming. Love? Maybe. Passion? Undeniably. A second chance at being seen, respected, desired. And Mason? He got his promotion. But he lost the one thing he couldn't replace. Me. And I was never anyone's bargain again. The story now begins with a short, attractive call to action. Before we dive into this emotional and unforgettable story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to never miss a moment.